going to start with a bit of a cold open, as we tend to do on these misty nights. And we begin with the camera pushing in past the clouds, over the blue water, and to a singular boat, this large yacht that gets bigger as the camera pushes further and further closer to the water's surface. We see stepping aboard, there is this sort of well built, square shouldered woman who has two shaven sides and a pink mohawk pulled back into a ponytail, and lots of tattoos and scars that appear to peek out from the underside of her fairly nice three-piece suit. Uh, on her arm, there is someone dressed in gothic Lolita garb. She's wearing this huge, very fluffy skirt that is black and white with a very elegant trim. She looks almost like a porcelain doll, would it not be for the fully pink hair with two large pigtails and giant church hat on and her extravagant makeup. These two people are approached by a woman who has clearly started the party a little early. It is midday, and this woman approaches staggering and stumbling. She mutters something about them being handsome and her being a unicorn, and lots of things we don't need to go into. As those two push past this drunk woman, she yells curses at them emphatically. And as she does, no one notices when she slips backwards over the railing and into the water below. And as she does, the camera becomes from her point of view, fading, wavy now in more ways than one. These giant octopus like arms reach up and wrap around her body, and no one hears the scream that would be the final noise of this woman's life. But we do see the blood begin to mix with this violet colored ink and spell out the words Remnants of Cerulean. Ladies, gentlemen, and those of you inside and out of the gender spectrum, my name is Dee, and welcome to episode 2 of Remnants of Cerulean. Thank you for joining us here on the Gut Punch RP channel. It's every other Friday, y'all. If you're new here, welcome. We are Gut Punch RP, a stream channel focused on RPGs and tabletop variety games, diverse storytelling, charity. Some people play video games on here. It's great. Drop us a follow and stick around. This quarter, we are supporting the wonderful Transgender Law Center. They have intersectionality, and if you want to learn more, you can type !charity in the chat, because no life can matter until Black trans lives matter. And if you use !donate, you have a chance to be entered in, you have a chance to win in a raffle some amazing plushies fueled by our lovely Dr. Psych Owl's Kickstarter Addiction. We are also sponsored by Dungeons Gate, a local Midwestern game shop. You can type !Dungeons Gate to check out their website and use code GutPunchRP for 10% off anything not already discounted. If y'all want to support us in non-monetary ways, this channel, like most channels, survives based off the algorithm. So follow us on all the things: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Like the videos, retweet, because it helps out more than you think it does. I promise you, if you don't know how algorithms work, it's actually very impactful and free. And if this is your first time at the channel, as I mentioned, I am D. I am the Dark Mastermind storyteller here for Remnants of Cerulean, and I am joined by 4 of the most wretched members of scum, villainy, and just general hijinks that I could find on a Friday night. And we're going to go around and do some introductions. Let's start off with, Kai, you're going first. Who are you? Who you playing? What are your pronouns?
Hi, I'm Kai. I am playing. Who am I playing? Soraya. I was ready. I forgot to retweet the thing, so I was going to retweet it, so I distracted myself. But yeah, I'm playing Soraya Aranya, who is, a master of something, probably, until she gets eaten by an octopus. Oh, Soraya's a she, her.
Fantastic.
Just
And we're going to go
correct.
clockwise from there up to Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess or Jessica or Dr. Psych Owl, except for on Twitter where I'm Dr. Psych Owl TV. I will be playing Miranda Broadside Lewis, who doesn't know much, but she knows how to hit things. My pronouns are she, they, and Miranda would probably be like, whatever. What are pronouns? So we'll go with the she, they as well. She identifies as a problem.
Hell yeah. Don't we all on our best of days? And then we move over to the right. Rack, how you doing, friend?
What up? What up? Hi, I'm Rek. Rek15568 on a million different things and places and shit posting. But I play Amari Wadike, and she is she they, but I'm she her.
Awesome. And then last but never least, Amber, how are you?
Oh, hi, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I am Amber or Bedoni across the places and the things. She, her, and I will be playing Dash, also she, her.
Fantastic. So, with that cold open that none of your characters saw out of the way, we begin with mechanics actually this time, my lovely players. We are going to select your loadout. Your loadout is going to be the things that you brought with you to this heist. They can be brought with you in like a myriad of different ways. But the important thing to keep note of, if you look on your character sheet on the right hand side, there are 3 different boxes. You can have a light load, a normal load, or a heavy load. And below that, there is equipment that is available to you. For every box that you would like to check, that counts as 1 against your load. So if you would like to have a light load, you can only check a maximum of 3 boxes from what is under the equipment tab. In addition, as you will see, and for those of you who cannot see, there are linked boxes that are joined together. You have to take every box that is connected. If you look towards the middle, you'll see armor or heavy armor, in which case it would not be 5, it would be 2 or not 2 and 3. I was doing that one wrong for a long time. But technically, if you bring only heavy armor, you can still have a light load. So you're also going to notice that a lot of these equipments are sort of vague in the sense that it's like, oh, for the cutter, you can bring documents. What kind of documents? Who knows? But you can bring documents. And the reason that I'm springing this on you at the beginning of the episode is because we also do not decide what exactly we are bringing now. You can plan on what we're bringing, but you can just check boxes as we go along and you find things to be relevant. In addition, we'll also have flashbacks, but we'll get to that in just a second. The only thing that you have to lock in before the heist begins is what size load here. And basically, what load affects, it doesn't explicitly affect like your capabilities outside of heavy. It's if someone picks heavy, let me know and we'll get into more specifics. But basically, it's also how you look. Like someone who has light things, if you were to be patted down, there's not very much to find on you. You look like you're just dressed in a civilian. A normal load is the limit of equipment you can have while still looking normal. You know what I mean? So like heavy and up, you're gonna look like you have gear with you to some degree. Is it necessary? It doesn't necessarily mean you're like walking around with a gun out. No, but you draw more attention by virtue of like, where's this person going carrying all that stuff? Like it's weird. So, with that info dump out of the way, we're gonna go around counterclockwise, starting with Amber. We're gonna declare our load sizes. Also, if y'all would like to crosstalk and like, it's like, well, if I take heavy, then you can take. Feel free to, but just like, we're gonna lock in Amber's first.
Okay, I was gonna say light, however, Dee's explanation that it could look like anything. Dash is going in as the magician. Magician needs equipment. She could disguise all of her shit fairly easily and look normal. So it looks like she's carrying gear, but like, she needs a fucking rabbit.
True.
So I think I'm gonna go with normal. If that way anyone else who's more comfortable taking light, Dash can kind of be a runner.
I was also thinking that with because I think we established that Miranda was going to be coming in with like catering, so would be carrying in food and things like that, and could be easy to slip in normal or heavy potentially.
Soraya, what you thinking?
I mean, like, I'm going through the front door, so would it be, like, advisable to take light in that it would be less likely that you'd be detected?
So it would be less likely, but it's so when you're thinking normal, rather than thinking like how me and you look right now, think like I got like a purse with me. Like you could get away with that feasibly and have some things in there, and people would still look at it as normal. Whereas a heavy loadout is like, well, you've got like a full duffel bag that has to have stuff in it. So what's in there?
Mm-hmm. All right.
So you could get away with normal. Light would bring even less attention, but normal won't bring extra attention to you.
I will also go with norm. I don't know what anyone chose. I'll go with normal, though. Because
Okay.
I would like armor. Like,
Oh, good point. Yeah.
And what about Amari?
I'm thinking light, probably, because I'm on like the engineering team for the boat.
Mhm, mhm.
So I could probably get away with like some gadgets and maybe like a small tool or something, and it'd still be in that range.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, so we're just gonna go around, lock it in, confirmed. Who wants to be a millionaire? Final answer type thing. Amber, what's your load for this heist?
Normal.
Jess,
Normal.
Kai,
Also normal.
Rec.
Light.
Okay, so we got 3 normals and a light. Fantastic.
Ooh.
So as I mentioned, you do not have to pick out your equipment now if you all are professionals and you're starting this in a controlled position. So you are going to be able to like, I prepared for this. Aha, victory. And yeah, so with that, I'm gonna roll a d6. The day it's about midday now. Depending on who you are and how long you've been doing this, you may or may not feel a little weird working like this in the midday while the sun is still out, but you're prepared for it. You're prepared for most things. You sort of like shrug your shoulders. You did your morning workout today. You're ready for this. Miranda, how do you get ready for the heist as you are pulling up? You're in your cater's outfit. You've got your gear, situated how you would like for it to look, so the most natural. And you're pulling in. You get there first. It's work, so you pull up a little early.
Yeah, I pull up. I come in. I'm riding my motorcycle to pull up, and I kind of like with the saddlebags that are attached to it get out the gear that I need to, but kind of like just put it underneath, kind of inconspicuously underneath some of my clothing, and kind of roll up. I believe I've already secured that. I've done a fair amount of just like part-time gigs, both
Mhm.
for this kind of work, but also just legitimately part-time gigging
Yeah,
for
sure.
various things. But yeah, roll up and immediately start unloading some of the
Yeah. And
stuff.
you see as you approach, you see 2 people who are wearing like what look essentially like tucked in chef uniforms. They're both smoking because every chef I've ever met smokes. That works in catering, I should specify. But they're both just puffing off a vape, and they see you pull up and they go, "Oh, you Miranda, I'm guessing."
Yeah.
What's up? And he sort of gets up and comes over to you. This is like uh um this younger looking man who looks very tired. He's got these big bags under his eyes and just like this frock of dark like almost purplish colored hair pulled back into like a scraggly bun. He comes over, shakes your hand, and goes, "I'm Aramis. What's up? That's Candy. You ever worked one of these before for this guy in particular?"
Nah, not for this guy, but this is not my first
Shit.
catering gig.
This guy fucking sucks. It's like he hands you like a coat that looks like what he's wearing. It's like, I don't know why we have to be dressed like chefs as if we're cooking the food here, but that's what he said. So
Shit, as long as he's paying, man. And I'll pull out from inside because I've rolled up kind of like wearing a leather jacket. And like I'll pull out from the inside pocket and pull out my vape pen and start.
fantastic. And he says, we do have lockers though, if you have anything you want to like throw in there, because you can't have your pen when we're walking around, obviously. So
Yeah. Awesome.
all right, well, cool. I'm staying out here. I'm smoking a little more. We don't have to start for a while, so I'm chilling.
Shit, yeah.
And as that happens, the camera sort of pans upward so that we're looking down at the top of Miranda's head, and it shoots over to the other side of the boat, already onto the boat, down in a little room that is very cool inside, and filled wall to wall with various computer technology. This room looks exactly how you would imagine a room for an IT boat looks like, which is not what they actually look like, but it's how you imagine it looks inside. And inside we see Amari is sat there, and Amari, you're listening to the same thing that you have been listening to for the past 45 minutes. This person's walking back and forth and saying, I just don't understand, like, what is the point of it at the end of the day if not to tell a full story? You know what I mean? Like, you're going back and forth on this thing, you're swapping out cast members. I don't know. Like, me personally, I thought Critical Role was better before they had their own company, but like, whatever. I kind of don't care anymore. I think I'm kind of like over the whole D&D thing. You know what I mean? And he sort of like comes over, looks over your shoulder, pushes up his glasses. You see it is this very pale guy that is just sprinkled with freckles and has this flaming red hair. And you know that he told you his name is Xyler. And he's just over your shoulder being like, is everything like up and going, or do you know how to set up the server?
Actually, I remoted into the server already, so
Oh shit, okay.
do you know how to start a server?
Man, I've got my own fucking whole setup at home. I run a server for, it's like a WoW vanilla server, because once they started adding DLC to all the stuff, man, it just like it went downhill personally. So I got like the OG stuff on there. I got a whole raid crew that I lead if you want to, like, you know, if you play WoW.
Nah, I'm rare. I touch grass.
Okay, whatever. You're hilarious. And he just goes and like sits in a corner, pulls out his phone, and starts pouting. And Amari, is there anything else that you are particularly trying to just as set up? You know, it's getting close to the time where the boat's about to pull off from the dock. So if the rest of your crew wasn't here, they should be getting here.
Xyler, since he's so good at his job, hasn't noticed that there is a USB stick in one of these machines, copying a bunch of things and offloading a bunch of things too.
Fantastic.
So, you know, while I was pretending to listen, I've got a lot of information cycling through things.
So, I will ask you: is your intent here to walk away with digital documents of some sort?
Would that be in the documents?
Yes, that would be if you are looking for something of a consequence that will help you in this campaign, then I would like for you to mark documents. If you're just doing it as like an Amari would do this, and the information I get is not going to be relevant to the rest of this show, then it's just flavor. It's cool.
I was putting it more like gadgets,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That works. Sounds good. And this is when you hear a bunch of like running and thumping around the room that has been periodic since you were in here, but you're able to like zone it out and focus on what you're trying to get done. As the camera pans up through a couple floors of the ship to the very clear pen of children that are just like doing the thing that children do where they run around screaming, and it is the best time they have had in their entire life because they are just running around and yelling. Can you believe it? And we see on the other side of the fence, Dash, you are standing next to this a woman who is like uh very clearly like has a plastered on smile that is not coming off under threat of death. And she is just like holding a mimosa in one hand, big sunglasses, large hat, and she's just like, well, here's where we keep the little rugrats. Best of luck. I'm sure you'll do great. You don't happen to know you don't know about Chris Angel, do you?
I missed that last part. What?
You don't know Chris Angel or anything like that?
Oh, their work is just art.
Okay,
So
good.
skillful.
So at least we got a magician with taste then.
Of
I swear,
course.
my kids deserve the most premium entertainment.
It would be my absolute honor to give your absolute angels the best show that they have seen and to have just so much fun so you don't have to worry about a thing and you can just go enjoy yourself.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you can get them to behave like angels, you'll be paid double what you made in bonuses. I can appreciate that much.
Challenge accepted. I hope you have a delightful evening.
Yes, you two try to survive. And she'll turn and just like scamper off towards someone. And as you look down, you see that a large amount of the kids, there's probably like 25 kids in this closed off area, ranging anywhere from 9 to 3. Um, and you see that a group of them, some of the older ones, have like stopped and are like looking at you. What does Dash have on? Are you like dressed for the role of magician, like a classical looking one?
I think Dash has actually like kind of taken on just regular staff clothing, but kind of steps forward and then stumbles, and then as she's catching herself in the fall, she is just like throwing cards up and catching them. There's a rabbit out of nowhere. There's like a little springy staff that pops out and she catches it, and like very Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory like entry, just like stumbles, does like a little forward cartwheel and like in the like lands in the middle of all the kids. And it's just like
Fantastic. Okay, yeah. I will say, if to have enough actual tools to like do the magic with you, I'm gonna have you take the arcane implements.
all right.
And that's all your magician stuff is all of that.
That is
the totality of everything.
100% what they intended that gear to be for when they put it in the game. Magician's tools.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And so, that is the setting of the scene. As we push away from you, we scale back to the front of the boat, where stepping out of this very nice car that you step out of, you are walking out. What is your outfit?
Soraya is wearing very high heels, very appropriate for what we're doing right now. But she can absolutely run in heels, just let's establish that now. And black, just like very well-fitted like cigarette pants with like just a very nice crease up the front. And then she is wearing like a just very beautiful, simple, but like perfect in every way, like silk satin sleeveless blouse that is deep cut open. Just you gotta make sure that got something out. And then she has a sort of like one of those cape jackets where it's a cape, but then also there's armholes right here, and it's a whole thing. But that is also just like immaculately black and just looks very, very sleek in every way. She has a bracelet on that isn't doesn't quite match everything else in a weird way, but it's like, you know, her lucky heist bracelet is what she calls it, and probably not that. Um
And are you arriving here by yourself, or is someone on your arm?
I it was I was on the list as someone's kind of plus one, correct?
Yep. Are they
I've
waiting for you or came with you?
I feel like it would have been wiser to arrive with them. So if possible, I feel like we would have maybe.
Yes, absolutely. So stepping out behind you then and grasping your wrapping your arm around their arm, I will ask you two questions about these NPCs. Is it one of the NPCs on your 5 4 3 2 1?
Oh, I feel like
We did not explicitly state who you got a +1 from. I'm asking you to decide now if you would like for it to be one of those two.
hmm. I feel like maybe not. Like maybe this would just be someone who, in like the course of things, you would go back and forth and sort of owe each other favors for like random stuff, and you're like, I'm gonna call this one in for this specific thing.
Absolutely. Second question, does Soraya like this person or not?
She likes them in the way similarly successful people in MLMs would like each other.
Okay, gotcha. So stepping out next to you wearing this very pretty sundress that goes to probably like an inch below the knees. It is daffodil yellow and white with these long white gloves. She's got this is a dark-skinned black woman. And she also has her hair done in sort of the goddess braids and tied off to the side. Um, and she walks up and grabs your arm and says, "Ah, well, this will be fun to navigate. You know, when we agree to work together, you always take me to nice places. I'm starting to feel that."
I'm sure this will be absolutely lovely, though. I cannot imagine a party on a boat could go wrong at all.
Yes, yes, especially if you do your work quietly, right?
I missed the last little bit.
Oh, especially if you do your work quietly, right?
Hmm. Yeah, she would know kind of vaguely what I was up to, I feel like. Well, if I do any job right, no one knows it's going on, so.
Well enough. And she follows and presents the pass and says, "This is my +1, Soraya." And the person sort of like looks up and down and goes, "Yep, sure, go ahead." he doesn't, he cares very little to the point that almost makes you question if you could have gotten it on board without someone else, because he just like gives the barest of checks and then just lets you go past. Um, and as that happens, we are going to continue following you as you walk up the stairs. This woman's name, by the way, is Cadence. Uh,
Alright.
and as you walk up the stairs, you begin. You're getting ready to, you know, swerve off to the left or the right, whichever. But this yacht is expansive. The floors have been kept to that linoleum, like that lacquered over wood, and the surroundings are, for lack of a better term, gaudy. There's a lot of gold and a lot of like embezzled diamonds and emerald color and like, but they clash with the clearly handmade like banners and like different things that have actual handwriting on them rather than having them professionally made. And you see a whole mess of people, and Soraya, you know specifically that these people are like the step above influencer. So they're like wealthy and no one really knows who they are, but they're also like 26 to 30 something, kind of like thinking they finally have everything figured out, pretty uppity. There's probably going to be a lot of physiological or psychological conversations about philosophy that go absolutely nowhere on this boat. You can already smell that someone is smoking weed somewhere.
Of course.
And you are immediately approached by a person, non-binary person with this sort of like half smile as they approach, wearing just a hoodie that looks to have like a band on it and like some nice, but the holes were probably put into the
Mm,
jeans
mm,
in the jeans that they're
Cost
wearing.
extra.
And they've got like a backwards cap that you can tell has been like markered over to make it look like it's more aged than it actually is. And they
As
approach.
they
Go ahead.
as they're walking up, I just sort of lean over to Cadence. I got it. And go, "Ugh, new money is so gaudy."
Yes, well, smile wide. Oh my
Mm.
goodness. Tira, I knew that you were going to welcome us on the boat just as soon as we got on here. And you see the woman apparently named, or the person apparently named Tira. They sort of go, yeah, yeah, I wanted to make sure that you two gorgeous ladies knew everything that was going on the boat. So over there we got the brat corner. If you have any toddlers with you that you need to drop off, there's a magician or something, which kind of cool, but only if he saws one of the kids in half, in my opinion. Um, and then we got there's food over here. We even got some of that. You know how you remember being young and like eating out of like Campbell's ravioli and stuff like that. So we got some of that stuff. And Cadence sort of like pauses and goes, Chef Boyardee. And
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, like the ravioli things in the commercial. Man, I miss the '90s, dude. I miss the '90s.
w-
But
what year were you born?
I was born in '98, so like
Yeah.
got in there
Yeah.
just in the nick of time.
Absolutely. Just there in time for Y2K. Perfect.
Best generation. Telling you.
They do call that the greatest generation, yes.
Yeah, yep.
Mm. So is this your boat then?
Oh no. I'm kind of like the best friend of the guy that runs stuff around here. We're cool.
Mhm.
We've been mutuals on Instagram for forever.
Oh,
He has like a whole nickname for me. I knew him before he blew up. So.
yes. Loyal community member. Do you know your way around the boat?
Yeah. What you want to go see? I can show you anything.
I maybe more of a general tour. You said you knew where everything was.
Yeah, shit. Let's go, dude. Whatever. And you see, they turn and sticks the hands in the hoodie pocket and starts just like walking you around the yacht.
Please tell me there are people with trays of drinks wandering.
Yes, as you're walking, you actually see a very familiar person with a tray of drinks. As you are beginning to populate the yacht properly, you have a minute where he keeps stopping to talk to people just to prove that he knows them.
Yeah.
And so at any time that they do that, they just like you have time to talk to Cadence or Miranda.
Well, I mean, you don't fraternize with the help. I definitely do, like, grab a drink, though, and just biggest, most cartoonish eye roll at what's happening around us at
Fantastic.
Miranda.
And I think that is where the camera passes from you to Miranda. Miranda, you got drinks. You're on the surface of this boat. People are starting to file in. You've already been tipped $300 for bringing someone a mimosa. There was a very stressed out mother. Big sun hat, big sunglasses. What are you doing? Are you trying to procure any information in particular? Are you just milling about?
I think I am largely in this initial kind of like pass, especially getting kind of the libations flowing with good intent. I actually, could we kind of can we rewind that scene where you took the glass from my
Sure.
tray?
So you would like to do a flashback, is what you're saying?
I mean, I don't know that it's a full flashback, but as I'm thinking about it, just to kind of like loosen up certain members of the party, maybe I have a few not knock people out, but maybe something that can like heighten the effects or quicken the effects
Sure.
of the
Uh,
alcohol.
I'll say we are going to make this flashback, but your stress cost will be 0. So
Okay.
we watch as we pan back just like 20, 30 minutes or so ago, where you're going through, and the lead of the catering team actually lets you pick what wine we're going to select, and you pick a very particular brand of wine that is known to be like a creeper. Like, people are gonna drink it and be like, "Oh, that was kind of nothing," and drink another glass of wine, and then all gonna hit them once we hit the middle of the water, and they're like sloshed on
Yeah.
the champagne that you're using for these.
Yeah, kind of that like that vibe of you don't really realize you're drinking absinthe or something that has like that high alcohol content in it. That's yeah.
Absolutely.
So when Soraya came to get a drink, I I basically turned the tray around and offered her just a normal beverage. And then yeah.
Fantastic. As you pass by, you see someone that you also recognize, but you notice them before they notice you. You see Styx is aboard the boat, sort of just chatting with some much shorter woman that you've never really seen before. She appears to have 2 different colored. She's wearing these very ostentatious, like Lolita get up. Styx has not noticed you yet. Is there anything in particular that you would like to do, or are you just gonna heel turn and go the other way?
I think I will if I could alert Soraya to Styx's location, unless she's already already gone
She
and
is
completely.
She is past you, but you can see her still. You could go up to her and let her know, but you will have to stop.
Yeah, so I will go kind of like try to keep myself hidden as much as possible, like move with the crowd, but also taking advantage with the like I am part of the help. So hopefully that can help me blend in a little bit. And we'll just kind of, in a way that's very rehearsed between the two of us, just kind of graze Soraya's elbow, and be like, sorry, ma'am, I know you told me to check on that particular vintage. I'm afraid we don't have it on the boat. However, if you're interested in possible Styx wine, I could go check if we have any on the left. and get back to you.
Looking as imperious as I can on this boat. Don't bother. I'm sure there's all swill based on the decorations here.
Very well. And then turn my heel and try to book it out unseen.
Okay,
I
so
glance in the direction that was indicated, though.
fantastic. You are able to pass off that information easily without problem. I am going to ask you to roll for me to see how smoothly you're able to do it. It's not like anybody stops you. But go ahead and roll. You can roll either prowl or consort.
I will roll consort.
Okay, and you get to add a die to your pool because y'all are still in a control position.
A 4.
Okay, with a 4, you are able to you keep it tight. You're good. It's all smooth and thorough, and you do immediately notice Styx. It's kind of hard to miss Styx even if you don't know her. There was some chick you've never seen before.
Still hot.
And with that, we hear a loud scream over from the child's pit. Nothing is wrong. Children just scream. Dash, you are approached by a older comparative to your current audience, teenager who's probably 16. Looks like they very much don't want to be here. And they walk up to you and just go, do you do magic?
Very dramatically, show my hands, and then on the flip side, there's full decks of cards. It's no, not at all.
Oh, that's pretty cool. You're actually really good.
Oh, thank you.
How'd you get your job doing magic like that?
Well, there is a wizard's college, and if you try really, really hard, and if you don't like the wizard's college, there's a clown college. Although, it gets kind of rough starting off when you go there.
All right, is this a magicians don't tell their secrets thing? Because I get that. I do magic, so.
Oh, really?
You know.
Let me see. Let
Yeah.
me see. What can you do?
All right. And he starts to do his hands are kind of shaky, and he looks nervous, but you can tell that he probably does practice magic a lot in his off time. He does a couple card tricks that are a little sloppy because he's nervous, but he's decent enough at it.
I think that Dash is okay, that was really, really well done. Mind if I give you some pointers?
Yeah, sure.
And then kind of okay, you really want to make this hand a little bit more showy. It really helps if you were just annoying as fuck, because then people are kind of paying attention to you and they're not paying attention to your other hand. And shows them.
And as you're going through explaining this to him, so one of the children goes, "You're not supposed to say that. That's a bad word. You can't say that." She's an adult. They can say it, dude. Whatever. Go play over there. And you see that there is a resemblance between him and this younger child.
Bad. I don't even know what word I said.
Perfect.
Dash is mentally cataloging shenanigans, Reese. What? We can't say shenanigans anymore?
No, you didn't say shenanigans.
How about pick a card?
And as you open your hands to begin another trick, the entire boat begins to. And so some of the older people are "Whoa," and they look over the edge. Y'all are still connected to the dock. Must have been a wave or something that hit the boat.
Are all the
Mhm.
small children still standing?
Oh no, absolutely not. Like some of them, one of them was trying to do a handstand for some reason, is just like ate shit. It looked like it hurt, but they did that kid thing where they just decided it didn't and popped back up.
Hmm.
I'm not. That was unusual. Like, I've been on quite a lot of boats for boat shows before, but is something up with this boat? Have you been on this boat before, kid?
No, I don't know this guy at all. He's one of my mom's friends, I guess.
Huh. Kind of peers out the window, I guess? Anything?
As you peer out the window, you don't see anything that I'm gonna say that you peered out of a dockside window.
Okay.
And as you peer out that way, you don't see anything in the water in particular. It's still, a nice-ish day outside. But you do see this very long limousine pull up. And it is a white limousine with like golden horns on the edge of it. And instead of having the BMW logo, it looks like it's someone's face. You can't really tell from this far away. And you see getting out with this coiffed up yellow pompadour, dressed in an all white suit with a pea green undershirt and a black tie, approaching, pulling his gloves on, and smiling like the prick he is. There's Preston Vance, also known as Prince Charming. He's a socialite and rich person who has several different online personas and characters, one of which is the person whose boat you're on.
Mm.
It appears he has decided to come out as himself this time. And as he comes aboard, he says, friends, thank you all for being here. Hey, even the catering, y'all do good work, right? Let's say we get this boat on the road, or should I say, on the waves. And there are a bunch of people who laugh because he gives them money. And he just strides onto the boat and is just a beacon of attention that is currently moving through the crowd, very loudly announcing his presence to everyone. And with that, the docking ladder is removed, and you all begin to set out onto the open water.
Mm. Mm.
What are y'all doing? We sailing now.
Uh,
I should explain one last thing, and then I will leave it in the hands of the people who know how to heist, because y'all definitely know how to do that. We are going to instigate our first clock. We're gonna do our first clock of the game, which is gonna be very fun. Basically, there's no need to be afraid. It's not a danger clock yet. Um, Essentially, it's a progress clock. So y'all are going to have four like effect level actions, basically. You can do four things that are steps toward your goal and obstacles that you would need to roll for, basically. So basically, you can make four rolls, and then I'm going to throw out a, like, this is happening now. Like a boat event. Think of it kind of like a lair action, if you could have. Like a separate thing that's going to happen after enough turns have passed. So our first progress clock is going to be 4 segments, and the floor is y'all's. You are all aboard the yacht. The owner of the yacht is on. Y'all are sailing out toward the open water. It's about midday, 3 p.m. ish. It's not cold yet. Y'all got to occupy to find who's doing what. How are we starting? First step gonna be.
would we? I mean, I feel like we would have come up with a way to communicate.
Yes,
Like-
I'm so glad you asked. So I will allow you all, since generally Blades, for those who are watching at home, Blades in the Dark does not take place in the modern era. We have technology that they do not have. So if each of you who would like to have like a little so small you can't see it in-ear communicator with the rest of your team, if you would like that, one of your equipment you can select as subterfuge supply.
Mhm.
I will
Yes.
say in the year 2023, that includes super tiny in-ear mic.
Yes. And then my follow-up question would be, how much of a tour of this boat did I get from this man who stopped and talked to everybody?
You are getting you're to the point where you are at the second hot tub along
Oh.
the back end. You have seen both of the indoor gyms. You have walked across all three of the tennis courts.
Oh,
And
a huge boat. It's like
yeah,
a cruise ship.
it's a big boat. It is a very, very big yacht.
Um, have I gotten a glance at what would be the more like the private wing of the yacht?
Nope. He has not shown that off. You're beginning to very swiftly suspect he can't actually get back.
Mm-hmm. I will. I mean, I would continue the tour, but I would definitely find a way to like signal or just be like updating people, like I'm here, back starboard port nacelle side.
Yep.
Mhm.
As far as I know, that's correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are Cadence will say, well, people saw me come aboard and you're +1, you're on board the ship now. You want me to distract this guy so you can go do whatever it is you do?
I am suspicious of her overall motives.
Just so you know, I am going to treat her like a rogue, effectively. Like she is going to be essentially like a crew member that works for y'all that you have brought aboard that specializes in social situations.
I mean, that would be quite helpful of you.
Okay.
Yes.
Did we take remind me, whoever has the team document? Did we take the elite rook upgrade? Was that one of the upgrades y'all took?
For the
For the team upgrades.
elite rooks, yes, is one of the
Yes.
crew upgrades that we have.
Okay. Then she has 3 dice to roll with. She is going to roll as she just like approaches this person and says, "Oh my god, I've also heard of that SoundCloud rapper." And just sort of like just takes arms and is like, "I pay attention to me, haha." And you're left for a second to sort of split off if you'd like to find some of your other crew members or anything like that.
I'm going to do the thing when someone is distracted where you very quietly say, I'm going to find a restroom. And just like plausible deniability, walk off. And are we far enough in where there are people who have had a little too much to drink already?
Oh, there's always immediate people who've had too much to drink, yeah.
Yeah, I am going to like wander to see how close I can get to places before I kind of get turned back and just kind of do the, oh, I'm just looking for a restroom. Giggly drunk lady thing.
Okay. So I'm going to say this is going to be the first taken action on this progress clock. Let's see how it goes. Go ahead and roll sway or consort. I'm going to call it sway. Let's say
Ooh,
roll
okay.
sway.
So it has
Yep.
one dot, so I just do one die, right?
You are in a control position, so you're going to do 2.
Okay. 2 and a 3.
Okay. Well, a 3 is still a failure, unfortunately. So, would you like to take 2 stress for an extra die, or accept a devil's bargain for an extra die. If you want an extra die, you could just take the fail. There's no guarantee the extra die will succeed.
I feel like I will go. mm, Hmm. It's a tough call because I feel like it's early enough where perhaps I would just go with the. I'll take.
I
the,
can to give you a little bit of insight. You're not going to be like arrested or like
Yeah.
thrown as like you're marked for you're suspicious. There, you just didn't get into.
Yeah, like if that's yeah, I'll take the failure on that. I'll take the failure on failing to wander properly.
Yeah, fantastic. And in addition, I will also mention that when it comes to my devil's bargain, since I want it to be a player specific decision whether you take it, my devil's bargains, I try not to have them hurt the team. So it's not going to be like, oh, I took a devil's bargain, now all of us are fucked. It's like something specific to Soraya is going to be screwed.
Okay.
Just so y'all aren't worried about that. All right.
Worried about everything.
What else? What are other people doing? Let's slide away from Soraya a bit as you attempt your thing. Who's got something? Who's got a plan?
I'm skimming through security cam footage trying to find this octopus.
Okay. Easy enough. Between the data you are scrubbing through and the security cameras, go ahead and roll Tinker. Does that sound good? Tinker? Yeah. Tinker or study? Your pick.
I have 2 dots in Tinker.
All right, go ahead and roll 3. Because nothing
3.
has gone terribly wrong yet. Y'all are in a controlled position, so all your rolls related to advancing the plot are going to be +1. If you get into a desperate position, everything's going to be -1. So there's neutral in between those two things, but
Ooh, duh.
Oh, 3 dice, right?
yep.
5, 5, and 4.
Okay, so a 5 is a success. You managed to find there is not a since it's not a critical success. I will say that the camera there are no cameras inside the place, but you do manage to mouse over to one that looks to have like it looks different from most of the rest of the ship. It looks a lot more like untouched and like well kept. You look at the internal temperature of it, and you also read some emails that were sent back and forth that say, "Did anybody move uh, the the squids back to the proper storage chamber in the bottom of the ship, or are they still in the showroom?" And then the email chain continues to say, "Still in the showroom, I think. Joshua was off, so no one did it. If I remember correctly." And they go back and forth and have a conversation about, Joshua fucking taking the day off. God, that guy.
Mhm.
But so that showroom camera that you're looking at is where the octopi are, instead of where they would normally be down toward the pole of the ship. That
Would
also obviously is step 2 of the progress.
would I be able to have the earpiece stuff as part of my gadget? Or does it have to be subterfuge?
Hmm. For you in particular, I would say you could roll that into your gadget. Because you are probably where they even got these in the first place. It's like tech from your personal storehouse. So I will say for you in particular, it can be rolled into your gadget. Yeah.
Okay, so then I relay the information of where the squid are.
Target. That comes through completely fine over the comms.
Where is the this would be like assuming did we get schematics or
I can find
Um,
them.
are you saying that you'd like to bring documents, Miranda?
I'm yeah Yeah, I am.
All right, go ahead and mark documents as a piece of equipment. And yeah, y'all, there was a whole process in the week leading up to this where you went down to the local port authority and you complained very heavily about the gaudy boat that's been sitting in the fucking dock for however long.
Mhm.
And while they were dealing with your complaint, one of your other crew members managed to slip through the back and procure the exact schematics of this boat that was built here. So yeah, you got schematics. You know that the show floor is about um it's in the middle of the sports entertainment places. So it's in betwixt the gym and the three tennis courts. Um toward the more leftern side of the boat. In the center. It is the room that is below the captain's.
Mm. Can I guess this would be into the earpiece, be like, can we get a clear path to the rooms that's visible in the cameras?
Yeah, like I'm flipping through the cameras to see if I can see any other like hallways or corridors to and from that
So,
area.
originally, with the octopi being in the bottom of the boat, it would have been easy. That area is pretty clear except for everybody in the engineers. But since they've been left in the showroom, there are kind of people everywhere. And you know that from taking a cursory glance at the security system here, it's going to take you a couple of minutes, read that as multiple checks, to open any door that is locked here. Any door that does not already open with your ID pass that you were given as part of having this job. Because there are certain doors that are locked because the captain does not want anyone in there. Um, with this being in the middle of the gym and the tennis courts, both of which of those places are currently in use by people on the boat. Clear? Not really. Path? Yes.
Would I have just looked for that email thread now?
No, I would say that's something you probably would have as soon as you hit the boat. You're like, give me all the information, so I don't have to. I can just sort through it rather than, you know.
Is there anywhere in like their conversation where somebody else besides the guy who's off knows how to transfer the squid from showroom downstairs?
I will say yes as a part of a flashback. If you'd like to make this a one stress cost flashback, I will say yes.
Yes, to make it easier.
Okay. So you remember as you're sort of sitting, it's like, damn, how am I gonna get this out of here? You remember as you were coming on board that there were a couple of staff members on the boat that were complaining about the fact that there was they were complaining about how the boat was closed last night. They're like, who closed last night, basically? And they were like, dude, did you go into the showroom? They didn't even clean the showroom. Like those octopi that they were showing off, they're still in there. I'm not moving that shit, dog. Like I'm just not going to do it. Like Joshua was supposed to do that, and then he no called, no showed. Like I'm pretty sure he didn't have this day off, so I'm not moving that because you know you got to put the suits on, and then you got to hold the sides of it, which are cold as shit. Make sure none of the water spills out. There's no lid on the fucking thing. I'm not doing all of that. Like that's not what I'm getting paid for today. And you just remember that conversation as you were walking in. So you know what you'll need to move the chamber. And as
Would
as a
I
go ahead.
would I have known where that equipment is? Well, by now probably.
You can for that I will say you can make another room. because where those suits are kept was not relevant information until you're like now putting together the fact that, oh, I'm going to need those. It's not going to be very difficult for you to find, but
What would that be?
yeah, let's go ahead and do. I think this time we're going to do the study roll.
Okay, 1 dot.
All right, and another one die because you are in a control position.
Six.
All right, natural success. You're like, this is why I download everything off of servers. And you just remember that there was one thing that downloaded, and you're like, I probably don't need to know where those suits are. You're like, glad I downloaded that. And you go through the schematics, and you know the same lockers where the caterers are storing their equipment. That is also the suits are in adjacent.
So yeah, definitely relay that, notably to Miranda.
Fantastic.
Like,
That
yeah.
is the third step on the progress clock. All right, what are y'all doing? What we got?
I would be heading to I'll head to the lockers to see if there's an opportunity, maybe even with Amari, be like, can you check the cameras right now and see if there's a lot of a lot of to and fro in that area? Is there a time where nobody's there?
Checking
there-
now. Go ahead.
Would there be in place schedule? Like if we could find out where the average breaks are?
Yeah, yeah. You know that as far as no need to roll for this. But you know that as far as the employees that are on a quote unquote proper schedule, they take breaks about every 35 minutes. So there is a window coming up here soon where people will likely be going to their lockers because they're on break, so they can get their stuff out of their lockers, but they go to the break room. So in about 10 minutes, anyone who was going to come in there probably should have, at your best estimate, according to what the schedule says. I will also say, keep in mind that caterers don't overly work on that specific schedule. It's more like when they're asked to bring out certain courses and such. So there's that variable, but Miranda is a caterer, so maybe she'll blend in.
Yeah, give it about 10 minutes and there should be less people there. But it's not very common for caterers to be on that side.
All right, I'll wait 10 minutes and then I'll continue to pass out some drinks, kind of keeping an eye on Styx and whoever that other person is, and just always like body blocking.
Okay. As you look over at Styx, that other person is actually no longer with him. Or her. Well,
That feels
we
right.
gotta. There's y'all got one more roll before anything specific happens on the boat. Do you want to just wait the 10 minutes and make the last step on this progress clock be heading back there and seeing what happens?
Just for I'm still brainstorming what the hell I could do. The doors on the boat, is this like some fancy sci-fi shit where it's like solid press close, or is it like a normal door in most other situations where there's like a minuscule gap?
There are normal doors up here on the interior. But those of you who have, we can say you delineated this information, Amari specifically probably. As you get closer to the center of the boat and lower on the boat, the doors like essentially increase in quality. Like they go from being just like wood, push doors that anyone can open to doors with locks. And then there are doors that have key scanners. And there are certain doors like the captain's quarters, the showroom, and an unmarked door at the bottom of the ship that all require fingerprint and
Hear me out. Could a mouse get under the door? Because they can kind of flatten their body completely and they can get through a lot of doors with gaps. So that's kind of where I'm reaching here.
I'll say not under the door,
Okay.
but in through the ventilation. Sure.
I was trying to figure out how Dash could cause a distraction to get the door open for Miranda. So
Gotcha.
I'll go back to my brainstorming corner.
All right. It's sounding like we're gonna, about 10 or so minutes past Miranda. You make a point to make sure that you're running out of drinks just as that 10 minutes gets close so that your tray is empty. And what would you like to do? What do you say to your comrades as you are about to disappear from the deck of the ship?
Yeah, I would just I'm gonna go get those suits.
Mm.
I just like flip one of the screens to whatever route Miranda's taking.
Dash is going to wait until there's kind of time it, and so she can get the kids to collectively scream at something to hopefully draw the attention over to the unmentionable side, so Miranda can kind of.
Fantastic. So you like time it to, you tell them to scream a magic word to make a card reappear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The louder
Awesome.
that they do it, the more cards will come back.
Fantastic. They're children. You don't need to roll to trick them. They're babies. So as you do that, you all, even you below deck, Amari, you hear the amount of children just up above, and you see Zyler
I have a screen
sits
up.
up. Zyler sits up and goes, "Oh shit, that reminds me. You ever play Five Nights at Freddy's before?"
Oh my god.
Absolutely not.
Dude, you got it. It's terrifying. It's the scariest game that I've ever played personally.
It explains a lot.
Yeah, at least it's not one of those fucking boring ass JRPGs that everybody loves. That's all that comes out anymore.
You ever just think that, you have trash taste?
What? How do I have trash taste?
You felt that Five Nights at Freddy's is the scariest thing you've ever played.
It's terrifying. Okay.
You play it in footy pajamas.
Well, how about you don't know what's wrong with? Fuck. And he just sits back, crosses his arm. Goes back to being a sobbing little SOB. Miranda, as you descend down the stairs, it is much easier on the ears down here. And you hear a couple of voices around the corner that sound like two people who are looking for a more private room. And as you continue past them, you go down another flight of stairs to the third floor of this yacht, and you begin to make your way towards the lockers that you were shown. And the room adjacent to them, you saw this when you walked in as well, is the equipment hall. There are lots of things in here, life preservers, emergency flares, first aid kits, things like that. And hanging toward the back, there are these very thick hazmat suits, they almost look like. You're expecting maybe diver suits, but these look like chemical grade.
Is there in the catering equipment, is there any kind of canvas bags to help bring in the food and stuff?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. I'll grab one or two of those and see if I can't get the hazmat suits in there.
Okay. So you manage to start stuffing those into the suit, and you hear a familiar voice from behind. say, it's Miranda, right? And you know that that is Candy. As you're like, you've already got both of the suits that you're grabbing. Amari would have passed on that you only need two. You only need two people to carry the thing. Um, and they're already in the bag, but you hear Candy behind you. Um, just call us like, it's Miranda, right?
To my friends, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, damn, suave. Are you done like serving drinks? I was gonna go hit my pen. It looks like they're all like good for a little bit.
Yeah, they seem like they're really kind of sloshed up there. Like,
Yeah, it happened real fast. They probably just can't handle their liquor. Half of them are probably on like more than alcohol that we're serving. So
yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about taking a break here. Yeah.
okay, cool. I actually I was the reason that I was sitting with is the reason I was sitting with Demetrius. Is that what I said his name was? The other guy, the lead caterer guy.
I had
forgot.
Amaris, but I have no
Amaris,
idea
yes. Yeah.
if I got
Yeah,
that right. Yeah.
No, you got it. I was smoking off Amaris's vape because I forgot mine. Do you mind if I like hit yours a couple of times?
Oh yeah, sure. And head back to the locker to
Do you take the canvas back?
I do.
Okay. You take it with you and you like round the corner going into the locker. And she just sort of like sighs and sits down. And she rolls up her like the uniforms that y'all are wearing, and she's got like both arms are huge sleeve tattoos. And you see that her ears are gauged, and she just like takes a deep sigh. This is gonna take so long.
Yeah, I didn't realize that we were gonna be like leaving the dock. I thought this was one of those dock parties.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't get much details though. It was kind of just like a money is money situation. You know how that is.
Yeah, it happens. You don't? Are you like nauseous or something?
A
'Cause I've
little
got
bit.
like I
Yeah.
think I've got like a couple of Percocets in here. You probably I don't know. Do you pop pills? Probably only half of one if you don't.
Yeah, not that's not quite my bag.
Okay, for sure.
I you know, clean living in that
Oh
regard. Yeah.
dude. And by the way, you're like jacked. Like whatever you're doing, it's working for sure because you're huge.
It's mostly like high protein, low calorie diet, and then, heavy lifting 3 to 4 days a week.
Oh my god.
Yeah, see, I love Taco Bell and doing nothing too much to be in shape.
Mhm.
But yeah, whatever. And you see that she sort of like takes a hit off of your vape and goes, "What's in the bag? Did we
Oh,
forget to take something out?"
nah, it's look, can you keep a
Yeah.
so look, like shit's been hard and they always usually have like leftovers at these gigs. And
Oh.
so yeah, I was just trying to
She gets up and opens her locker, and you see that there's a little like ramekin that is already starting to be filled up with very nice silverware. It's like, don't even. Oh my god, get these people for everything they fucking got. Everything. You
Yeah.
can do. And she sort of like wipes off her vape after she put her wipes off your vape after she put her mouth all over it. She goes, "Thank you. I'm gonna let you do you. I'm gonna go back upstairs."
awesome. Yeah, just it's in the locker if you need it again.
Sick. And you manage to collect the suits, which is going to be the fourth segment on the progress clock. So you all begin to hear, "Attention, everyone, if I could have all of your attention, please." Now, I know that you're probably wondering why exactly I called you all here, and what exactly we're celebrating for this party, right? It's, it's so surprising of me to invite people from all walks of life. And I pride myself on being a very diverse person. I know a lot of people, as you can all see, and a lot of those people know people. Can't get more diverse than that. But I wanted to call everyone here to be very serious. And you all see that a couple of the crew members begin to pull out camera equipment. I wanted to address all the rumors that are surrounding me and my good name. And I wanted to tell everyone that, yes, I'm declaring myself for the 30-man battle royale at WrestleTopia. I'm going to go there, and I'm going to win, and when I do, I will see you all in the main event of the biggest show on the grandest stage of them all. The slander on my name will not be taken lightly.
Coordinated children screaming.
Do you think we can we run that again, actually? I didn't really like it. We can, we can just, if everyone can just act natural, everyone, act natural. The camera's totally on me, don't worry. And, you see that most people are, pulled into, apparently, this influencer has decided that he's gonna be a professional wrestler all of a sudden.
Does this guy look qualified in any way
No,
to be?
not even a little bit.
It just
Okay.
entered like the creator clash.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
basically.
gosh. Is there someone just like wandering around who just like looks real like roided out and just like they might have some rage within them?
Yeah, they're plenty of angry people who are trying to drink their problems away.
I would just like kind of going up to the biggest meatheadiest looking dude as this guy's trying to set up the filming of his second take and be like, or do I find if I find this
Yeah,
person?
absolutely.
Wow, I would think that you would be the one who'd be much better at WrestleTopia 20.
Okay, so, but why was I thinking the same fucking thing, dude?
Mhm.
And I got kicked out of the performance center, but it's a popularity contest, dude. You know
Well, I mean,
where's that one really hot chick with the drinks?
I would say a great way to get popular is to just start the wrestling challenge right this exact second. I mean, he's filming and everything.
Go ahead and roll sway for me.
What do I have? What do I have? A face ID that doesn't work. Okay, sway can't be consort.
Let me read consort real quick. I will also say that after he begins to set up for his second take, that we are now on a 6-segment progress clock. Consort. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So are we still in a controlled thing? So there's
Yes.
an extra die.
Yep.
All right.
Nothing
Okay,
has
so
gone
it's-
horrible yet.
3 die, I believe, in these dice. Please, babies. Okay, I got a 6 and a 5 and
Okay.
a 1.
With a 6, this guy goes, you know what? It's right. My time is right now. And he just pops all the buttons off of his dress shirt, rips it off, and goes over and goes, Preston Vance, I'm challenging you. Challenging you right now. I want your spot in the 30-man battle royale. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go, dude. And people are walking up and they're like, Thaddeus, don't. And it's just like
Coordinated ooh from all the kids.
you have definitely distracted most everyone above deck with that.
I would just like kind of into the earpiece go, I think it's going to be very distracting up here for a few minutes if anyone has something they want to do. And then I'll just yell from the back, like in the way where you're not trying to get noticed. Knock him out, Thaddeus!
Fantastic.
Did this like distract my coworker so he would shut the fuck up?
He actually has started talking more. He's talking about how wrestling shouldn't count as a sport. Like they plan out who wins, right? So it's like, how's it even a competition if you're not beating someone? Like, what's the point? Goofy.
It's like you don't know every pro sport gets planned out.
Wait, no, for real?
You
See,
sure you're
because
smart?
I've always thought that, low key, though. I think the Illuminati is using sports stars to control what kids do when they grow up. Like, there weren't this many basketball players 40 years ago. Think about it, dude.
You're lucky it's March.
Amari, a message blinks up on your computer. You have downloaded the totality of data that is available on the servers, and your computer has stopped 3 programs auto starting themselves after being downloaded from the
What are those 3 programs?
server. Looking through all of them, they appear to be like simple, or looking through the first 2, they appear to be very simple programs that are designed to essentially perform one function every time a device is turned on. It is odd that they're linking that to the power and downloading a new copy of the command every single time. But one appears to be tied to temperature, and one appears to be tied to
To a what?
a lock, like a Face ID lock.
Oh,
The third one, however, is a virus that is probably intended to infect the computer of someone who does exactly what you have done. You peek through it, it seems pretty standard, but it looks like it was produced by Midas Tech.
of course. That was definitely going to be a question that I had too. If anything on the boat is Midas Tech. Well, whichever program was repeating itself, I know it had to have been this kid that wrote it. But nothing else stands out about it being Midas Tech.
Nothing in particular. There is no signature on who made the virus.
Well, I guess it doesn't really matter who made it, but it was
Yeah,
definitely commissioned for this use case.
virus seems solid and completely, off the grid. And it's around this time that everyone feels the boat once again and like shake and list to one side and back. I will say, Dash, you being on the main deck and having the best view of outside, you see that clouds are starting to, like, not necessarily roll in, but gather.
Mm-mm.
Was there gonna be rain tonight? We got some clouds gathering in. And she give everyone a heads up, like unexpected weather rolling in. We got some clouds.
As you like sort of say that into your communicator and look back, um, there's something very obviously different about the pile of kids that you've been entertaining. There's now a grown woman who is sort of like sat inside the confines of the pen. She is dressed like a gothic Lolita and has 2 large pink pigtails. And from this close, you can see that it is not that her eyes are different color, but her right eye is glass. And she just like raises her hands and says, "You're doing a wonderful job."
Oh, thank you. I just don't get enough compliments in this line of work, and really, that's just gonna feed me for the next 2 weeks. Really, I just crave attention.
Oh, well, wonderful. I'm here to pay full attention to you.
Yeah, because I feel like maybe at this time you would hear, Dash, this is a 2-person job. Can you do a vanishing act and meet me downstairs?
How dare you two put me up to this? You know, actually, this would be the perfect time. Where's my teenager? Teenager! Where are you?
You grab Klaus.
Yes, I grab Klaus, pull him over. It's like, this is your moment to shine. This is the 2-person job, just like we were kind of practicing. I need you to kind of do the build-up, and I'll come back for the grand finale. Just my
Okay,
great
yeah,
regrets.
yeah, I can do that. And
I like
he sort of looks at the lady and does the thing where, like, he knows he probably shouldn't have that reaction when he looks at a person, but he's like, and then gets ready to
Gather
do
around
the
children,
thing
gather around
just
children.
'cause-
And big finale, the great big surprise. I'm gonna sneak off and get the special prize that we'll have for the big finale. So everyone, give Klaus your best attention and cheer him on. Because if you guys don't give him enough cheer and applause, then I don't have enough magic to make it back in order to find you guys. So y'all know what to do?
Be here.
Close enough. Good job. Like,
And as you're getting ready to leave, you notice during your whole like excuse spiel, that woman does not take her eyes off you for a second. When Klaus comes up and begins doing the trick, she's just looking at. She doesn't say anything to you, and the sort of like half smile doesn't go away, but she just smiles until you eventually leave, and you can't tell what she's looking at.
do I recognize her at all? Like,
Would you like to accept a devil's bargain?
we just started the 6 clock.
We did just start the 6 o'clock.
Ooh.
You know what? Yeah.
I will say that you choosing to go like meet up with your teammate to then get into the thing, that's a chip. That's chip number 2.
Okay.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, I will accept the devil's bargain as I'm picking up like my rabbit and like making a show of like grabbing things to like go set up.
She is so weirdly familiar, and you can't really place why or how. It is not an active remembrance, but there's something in your gut telling you that you've met this girl before, somewhere, somehow. And this is actually a very quick devil's bargain because the resolution is immediate. Because you see that she recognizes you as well.
It recognizes me as what?
She recognizes you as well as you turn the corner and head down to Miranda.
I am so bad at faces. This is why you guys usually put me on roofs. Okay.
All right, Miranda and Dash, y'all are together.
All right. I've got these. I got the suits.
Oh, perfect.
Do we see the door? Or
So they are currently in the showroom still, so they are above deck. But if you would like to change into your suits first, and the suits have a lot of accoutrement that make it clear that you do still work on this boat.
Okay.
But yes, it is the showroom is in betwixt the gyms and the tennis courts.
Okay. Yeah. Suit up.
yeah.
Make a big deal like we're gonna go transfer these suckers somewhere appropriate.
All right.
Yeah.
As you head back towards the surface, people have started calming down, but just ever so slightly. Like the people who are not interested in the whole wrestle, whatever the hell they're talking about, have gone back to not caring. But there's still a good chunk of people that are trying to pull Thaddeus away from Preston. And Preston's just like, ew, oh my God, disgusting. Don't touch me. Turn the cameras off. And it's just like, please keep this man away from me.
Hit him with the chair.
I mean, honestly, how far are the kids from this spectacle?
From the wrestling, they are kept on the other side.
Okay, all right.
They're near hot tub A, and the
Yes,
camera's
hot tub A.
tub B.
I mean, are we trying to clear the gym and stuff to make it a clearer shot?
I think. Oh.
Maybe after we get, because like they'll move. We look official. They'll move out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got
if anyone. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say no. That makes sense because like us moving it and then like making a show of us taking it downstairs, and then whatever way gets waylaid, so we can stash them somewhere else
Mhm.
and put something else in its place. I don't know. Where's my rabbit?
This being a gigantic fancy boat, does it have one of those weird like emergency boat launches in the back, like the boat from Speed 2?
If you have a one stress flashback, then yes.
I mean, yeah, I'll have a one stress flashback to know that
Okay.
there's a.
So you flash back to the going over the schematics with the rest of your crew after y'all managed to lift them, and you remember having to explain to everyone that hadn't seen Speed 2, like why you recognize that emergency hatch in the back.
You all have never seen Speed 2. It's a fantastic film.
It didn't have Keanu in it. Why the fuck would we watch it? I mean, Sandy's good, but like, come on. I mean, she's just the Bobcat.
So they're just on the bus the whole time? Like
no, they're
that's
on
the
a
first
boat.
one.
It's the bus ate Keanu, and then you had to get on the boat to save Sandra Bullock or what. I don't remember. All I remember was that they had the weird exit and they drove the little jet skis up into it or whatever. And I'm just saying, that's what this is a drawing of.
And then we come back to present day, and yes, the boat has one of those.
Which I feel like would have been, let's make a plan and get to there. And that will be our exit. But also, are there cameras in there?
Also, that was Wedge 3 in the 6 parts.
Okay.
Are we all exiting, or are some of us staying here to make an appearance? I don't know.
I feel like it depends on the exit vehicle situation, like
Okay.
what is conspicuous and what is not.
Because I feel if someone already has eyes on me, I probably should come back eventually. Or if I've been made.
I mean, if
There's also the possibility that we could stash them someplace and then we just exit like we came on normal, not necessarily in a rapid escape if we.
And to that is a good comment to clarify something on. They are currently, like I said, they're in the showroom. They're in their display case. There is another, Amari would have found this out. There is another case with a lid. That sounds more like the case that your contractor described. There is a case like that, but that is in the hold. And when the octopi are being shown, they are not kept in that case.
We got to take the tank down to the hold together and then transfer them to that container.
Mm-hmm.
But then we could potentially stash the container somewhere, or we can just get the fuck out.
That's true, yeah.
Because once we have them.
Dash is gonna relay creepy pigtail girl to the rest of the group. Does anyone recognize pigtails, glass eye, different color from her other eye?
She
Very-
was with one of my former associates, sort of.
Hmm.
I think she recognized me and also was definitely keeping a close eye on me and don't think she bought my exit strategy, which I think was flawless, as usual.
Well, I mean, do you think they hired this out to multiple people, or perhaps they're here on a different job?
Oh, that's a possibility.
I feel like it's more likely that it's the same job, though.
I don't like competition.
I mean, she was a pretty distinctive person. Would I have any recollection of seeing her around in the underworld? Okay.
Nope.
Storyteller,
Yes.
any chance that she was a ghost at any point?
You
Like-
know,
Oh, no! No!
now that you mention it, that doesn't seem all the way right.
Mm-mm.
But when you
That's
make that
worse.
connection in your head, there's something about that girl that did kind of feel like the ghost that you only recently were able to see.
Okay. Okay, relaying that. Okay, she kind of felt like the ghost we kind of been seeing. And remember, I told you guys when I was scouting out this place, a ton of ghosts have been kind of coming onto the boat and they don't come off. Maybe she's one of the ghosts that either got on and hasn't left it, or maybe she just got on and I don't know, maybe there's a big ghost party in the basement.
That is Wedge 4 on the 6 product.
Dash found a clue.
Didn't you say there was weird weather
Totally wasn't
that
on the
wasn't
radar.
supposed to be?
Nope. Clear skies before. Now we got stormy clouds. So if we're making an exit, bring an umbrella.
Storyteller?
Hmm.
Potentially connected to the ghosts getting on the boat and not leaving?
You can make me a make me an attune check or study, either one.
Because my heavy hitter is good at both of those. It's just one die, right? Because I have nothing. So it's
Well, you're still in a controlled position.
Since this is a conversation Dash and Miranda are having together, and Dash does have one die, could she assist?
I mean, I got a 6,
Oh, never
so
mind. You got it on your own.
Fantastic. With a 6, you hear this loud of lightning outside of the boat, and you remember reading something in the in Cortado's goods, in the back room of Cortado's goods, something about ghosts and lightning. There was something about ectoplasm and lightning and the way it reacts, or some shit. You're not sure, but you know you read it. And then you think about like movies that you've seen with Soraya before. You
oh
start
yeah, like
thinking,
Ghostbusters.
yeah, like Ghostbusters or like Dr. Frankenstein and their monster. There's some connection between dead things and storms. And based on what Dash said, that person doesn't seem all the way dead, so maybe they're less Frankenstein's monster and more Frankenstein.
Mm.
And that is wedge number 5.
Lord. Okay. Did it get relayed to the rest of us that she's a spooky ghost?
Well, she's not a spooky ghost. She's the like orchestrator of the spooky ghosts, or the creator, or the conduit, or
The conductor.
Jeez.
yeah, other C words as well.
Mm-hmm. Do you are the octopuses tied to the ghosts, or is this just a weird thing that's also happening?
I mean, this influencer has his fingers in a lot of different pies and a lot of different wannabe jobs. Maybe he did a ghost hunter or took a side hustle and recruited a ghost caller?
So this ghost girl, do other people see her? Like, everyone sees her, right? Looks like a person to everyone.
All of you have seen her, and Styx clearly can see her,
Did
but
Clyde or Claus react to her as I was giving?
Claus,
Yeah. Okay.
like I said,
Okay.
Claus looked at her and was like, "Oh,
Okay,
like whoa, you look like interesting. Like you got a lot going on in this outfit." But maybe that's not why Claus reacted like, "Whoa." Maybe it was less the outfit and more that Claus saw what you saw. And as you think about it, Dash, the children didn't react to her. And she was just in the pen watching you do magic.
I don't think the kids saw her now then I think about it. I mean, the teenager did, but that may have been 'cause-
No, they didn't. And
Oh, no.
you see down the hall, all you can make out in the shadow is the pink edges and the
Nope.
glowing yellow eyes.
Nope.
And you hear the drawing of a sword from a scabbard. As you hear, I should introduce myself. My name is Alize Pendragon, and I believe we have something to speak. And that's where we're going to take our break for the evening.
I'm gonna die. I
Y'all
don't like
completed
that.
the 6 wedge clock. Good
Oh,
job.
Lord.
Oh, no.
No.
We're gonna die, but we did it.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Gonna be great.
No,
Gonna be a
this
great
is-
time. If you want
no.
spelling on that last name, that's PENDAJ Dragon.
I should be taking notes, shouldn't I? It was people. It's a person name. I know notes. Too late
And,
now.
You're going in
Yeah.
boldly. It's fine.
With that, Sphinx, I'm so glad you're watching this with us. With that, thank you all so much for joining us for the sunrise portion of this episode of Remnants of Cerulean. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to subscribe so you can be up to date for when the next part drops. And if you're here on Twitch, get up, do some bios, stretch yourself, drink some water, and we are going to be back after a short intermission. Stay right here, people.
Ah.